Was it the YouTuber that made a bunch of funny memes when it came to Tengu Koji? Was that an Olgrim, right? Like, I think it was young Olgrim and Tengu Koji were like the best skins to own for their meme potential. But now at this point, it's a fun skin.
All right, I like this. Let's see how much fun he's going to have going up against Vipr3's Ragnir and Swata's Bodvar. A very midline and stable composition, I think.
Yes, Ragnir is an interesting pick. For Vipr, it's pretty expected, but when it comes to doubles, we've been seeing a lot of players just straight up say Katars they're not a weapon that you can use in a doubles environment. Obviously, it's very subjective, but that tends to be the trend. So seeing Vipr opt for Ragnir as an Axe Legend as opposed to, say, a Taros or an Olgrim is an interesting choice, but Vipr just has that level of comfort on Ragnir that I feel like totally outweighs any of those other more standard doubles options. We're going to Apocalypse for game number 1.
Ooh, Swata going for the big gravity cancel read. Fortunately, not paying off just yet. QS and Neeze getting some of those alley-oop combos onto Swata, trying to build up damage.
Ooh, Swata going for that dash jump sider, goes for the weapon toss on the QS right away. Okay, that was amazing. QS had nothing left. And that was like the best timed gravity cancel downlight into recovery that I've ever seen, because knowing how few options QS had left, that was just a sealing coffin there at the very end. Now we've got 5 stocks to 6. Vipr and Swata in a slight lead, and okay, QS, gotta be careful there. Accidentally hits Neeze with that neutral signature. Who's gonna go down next? Vipr seems to be doing fine as Swata is just holding the fort. Axe picked up, recovery hits, Vipr goes down, Swata just barely survives. Well, maybe not just barely. That bow recovery sent like way farther than I was expecting for how much damage that he has. Ooh, and the sides that cuts through.
Yeah, ooh. So Swata, the only one on 3 stocks still. So imagine he's going to play a little fast and loose here, just because, you know, when you're that damaged and now you've got QS deep in the red, you can afford to give up that first initial stock.
Recovery comes through from Neeze. A little bit onto Vipr. Okay, Neeze pulling out a very similar down signature strategy that we saw earlier. Double recovery hits Vipr, actually. That was so close to being able to take him off the top of the map. Neutral light sends Swata flying. Vipr waiting for a weapon. Oh, no!
How is Swata still alive?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We're getting to the point of the game where I feel like it's pretty comfortable for me to say, just give up the stock. Wait, okay, I don't even know what.
Are you kidding me?
Was that a grounded
Finally,
ground
thank
from
you.
Vipr that sent Swata? I don't know what happened. He was just constantly bouncing off the ground. Okay, whatever. He's got 2 stocks down. A bit of normalcy here.
But, I mean, he made that one extend for all it's worth. And, again, caught the recovery out of there. Neeze needs the save, but the hammer toss ensuring QS had to dip wide around. So now Neeze down to his final stock. QS incredibly damaged. Vipr incredibly damaged. Swata very, very healthy.
Yeah, I don't know how well that stock tanking worked out for Swata, because we're seeing Vipr now go down to 1 stock, and we might very quickly get into a situation where Swata is in a 1v2. Oh, okay. Vipr dips down for that nair to be able to save him, but blue team solid lead. They're getting a lot of damage on the Neeze, and Vipr's actually cutting through pretty well on the Katars here. Swata breaks up the action with that gravity cancel side light, and he's trying to do a little bit more here. QS and Neeze are doing a good job of just trying to keep things stable. Yeah, it's looking great.
Jeez, I feel like everyone starts to get a combo starter, and then it's just somebody swoops in and busts it up, and you just rinse, repeat.
Swata goes down. Neeze goes down. 1v2 for QS. Can you take down Vipr? He has got to do it right now, and it's too late. Vipr won that 1v1 exchange. Picking up that axe. Doesn't get the team combo off of Swata because he was still picking up the axe himself, but it's looking pretty good for the blue team. Likely going to be a win. Let's QS. Okay, didn't jump for that down air, but that was close. Vipr.
Yeah, flirting with disaster here. Yeah, Vipr, you see him taking that back support role.
Nice. Nicely done.
Ooh, the dip down and around. Yeah, Vipr, he is so used to just pulling the wool over the eyes of anybody chasing him.
I feel like
he's been at this a long time.
I really enjoy seeing those moments of clarity where Vipr's just kind of like, oh, I would have lost my stock if he jumped there. I'm going to go back to center stage and let Swata take care of this. and then be in a position to where once Swata hits them, or once he pushes him off the stage, he can go for that axe sider that we saw just there. Good play coming up for Vipr and Swata for game number 1. Game 2 will be coming up shortly. Let's see what QS and Neeze are going to pick, as everybody seems to be a little bit hesitant on the Legends to lock in right now, besides Vipr, who's just like, yeah, my Ragnar's amazing.
Yeah, I do like, you know, taking some discussion with your teammate, trying to figure out, all right, what were they doing? What were we doing? How do we change up our play style? How do we change up our legends for those answers? And what maps are going to best benefit our new composition?
Okay, QS on Atori, Neeze on Thor. It doesn't get it's a pretty big change as far as things go with the Legends. So Swata still on the boat bar, Vipr, of course, on that Ragnar. We're going to be going into game number 2 with QS focusing on just having that extra movement speed, being able to weave in and out, hit him with the sword, get those nice combos with the hammer as well, and just Neeze having that security of being like, okay, stomp Sair works all the time. It's always great, and it's very easy to follow up with my teammate, especially with the spear and the sword. Doesn't get more textbook than that. Here we go into game number 2 on Mammoth Fortress.
Damage build's going pretty evenly for the time being, but QS starting to bleed out a little bit. Ooh, Swata taking a ton of damage.
Yeah.
I do wonder how much are they going to try and focus him down, given that he was the major stock tank for the blue team last game.
Oh no, Vipr hits his head with the recovery, but manages to make it back. Neeze goes in for the recovery. Swata gets hit with a spear ground pound. I think he still makes it back. He does. Thank goodness that this isn't the Miami Dome. Otherwise, that could have been a lot worse. Ooh, interrupts the neutral sig. He's trying to get a sidelight starter. Who's going to lose the stock first? Okay, Swata, how do you do this? Every game. How is this happening?
Every game. Even if he takes the damage early on, he will still take so much damage before going down.
He's still alive. That neutral light wasn't going to do it.
Still alive.
All right.
Never a moment's doubt.
You know, there was a time when everybody played Bodvar that it wasn't unrealistic to say that they were running 10 defense on Bodvar, even though it's impossible, because of moments exactly like this. Is he going to get the stock first? He does!
Caught the recovery and the side air follow-up. Swata just popping off. You know what? I don't even care that he gave up that stock at the end there. He secured the knockout. He took so much damage in the process. But now there's a slight advantage for the red team, unfortunately, for them.
I guess getting your butt whooped that early doesn't really matter if you're actually still taking the stocks first. And now Swata looks like he's going to be doing the same to QS. Following Neeze all around. Ground pound goes super low. Nice punch for the side air. QS hit away from that downlight and just barely gets knocked out off the top. Pretty surprised that did KO. And a load of damage coming onto Neeze. There hits. Swata falls down that down air and gets hit away. Pretty close game so far. Surprised the Vipr's actually the one with the most damage now after what happened in that first stock. But I mean, I guess all the damage that Swata's going to be taking this game already got front loaded onto that first stock, so you can't take that much more.
Are you saying he's met his quota?
Yeah.
He's just not going to take any more damage?
Yeah, it's just at that point where it's like, I'm allowed 400 damage per game. I took 380 on stock 1. Never mind, Swata goes down. And I'm absolutely wrong about that quota. He's just losing those stocks now. Nice haymaker comes through. Close game. Can Vipr get the damage on the QS? QS keeps getting those sword neutralites, which on any other map, I'm pretty sure would seal the deal, but not on Mammoth Fortress.
Yeah, just a little bit of extra needed to get to that strike zone. Geez, Vipr still living. There's the weapon toss, sealing the deal. And now again, the red team, slight advantage.
Ooh, recovery hits. QS goes down, and that advantage just disappears within a moment. Sidelight Nair, recovery. Vipr going for a recovery just to be able to reposition.
Blender.
But a lot of damage coming in onto Neeze. Going for that gravity cancel neutral stick. Nice punish from Neeze. QS going for the recovery. Nair doesn't hit. Oh, he has no dodge, but he does only take one hit for that neutral signature. Oh, there's just so many hits going left and right. Neeze might be the first to go down if he's not careful. Swata is hunting him down with his hammer. Hammer picked up for Neeze. Oh, that was the perfect axe recovery. Straight up off the top. Now a 1v2 in favor of Vipr and Swata. They're on the verge of having a 2-0 lead.
It's looking pretty good. I know we see Vipr again going for that support position in the back just because he is the slightly more damaged one. But also, he has the shorter ranged weapon.
Forces the dodge. Vipr goes deep with the Nair, and QS just goes fine. If you want to jump off the stage, go for it. I'm going to focus on Bodvar. Weapon comes through. Swata and Vipr still playing this front-back support offense sort of deal, but QS is in a stage where if that connected, I don't blame him for it. That could have been a stock. He does lose his weapon. He can't afford getting hit by another D-Light recovery, but QS would still do this. Kicks him away. Oh, that was everything. He went for that slide charge haymaker and just barely didn't work out. The recovery hits Vipr, somehow managing to survive. Just take it slow. QS has to come back to the stage eventually. Swata crazy with that dash jump fastfall weapon throw. QS just waiting.
Now what's very telling here is, the fireball? Vipr with the fireball on stage to claim the game.
Yeah.
You always expect him, he was playing that back support position. Wasn't ready for him to just swoop right into the 4.
Yeah, it's a tough call and a really good read from Vipr, because there are two things typically that you do with Vipr, or not with Vipr, with Rackeneer when you're in an edge guard scenario, which is the neutral sig or the down sig. The neutral sig is going for that jump read off the ledge, with the down sig covering the ground in case you decide to fastfall dash forward. And that's exactly what QS went for, and Vipr had him completely read, takes the stock off the top, and takes a 2-0 lead in this best of 5.
That means it is set point for Vipr and Swata. They just need to win this one more. QS and Neeze, if they want to stay alive in the tournament, they need to win the next 3 games straight.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough hill to climb, but a one that they possibly can. Neeze is now, once again, swapping legends onto the Mordex, and Neeze's scythe is pretty amazing, but we're gonna have to see if that matters here in game number 3 against the consistency of Vipr and Swata. I said consistency, and now I'm suddenly disagreeing with myself, because game number 2 was pretty crazy. I think if that axe recovery didn't take out a Thor in the way that it did off the top, that game would have been completely different with how well QS was playing that 1v2. So we'll see if this is just enough from Neeze. Neeze going, okay, I don't need the survivability. I just need to be able to make these crazy offstage combos work. Also, Swata...
I mean, I gotta tell you, for as much damage as he has taken, Neeze has given out probably 50% more than that, because his scythe has been doing some serious work in these early stocks.
Ooh, and Swata not surviving until 1 million damage on the first stock for once, and the red team's got a really, really strong lead. Swata comes back. Nice revenge knockout with the stop side air. Vipr. Ooh, I think that was supposed to be sidelight and air, and he just didn't get the jump. Neutralize in place instead. Recovery hits. QS.
Man, Neeze, even though sometimes it's friendly fire, his scythe just never stops. It's always finding targets.
Downlight kicks Swata away. QS now playing the Swata role in this game 3. Oh no, Swata goes down to 1 stock before QS even loses a single one.
Oh my gosh, Neeze just taking so much control of the stage. Slice active input, he gets to choose which way he wants to send his opponent on several attacks. Uh-oh, caught the recovery. Neeze in danger. Fights his way back. The exhausted recovery peeking up over the edge. Oh my gosh, and now this is 5 stocks to 2. 4 stocks to 2, but still a massive lead for the red team. Just as I say that, Swata plucking those gauntlets out of the air. They still have a tall order, though. Swata so damaged.
Ooh, sidelight hits through. QS going for that neutral light. Swata's so damaged.
Uh-oh.
Oh, just barely avoids that side
Could
sig.
be Swata's swan song.
Oh, Swata is actually doing a great job narrowly avoiding a knockout attack every time. Just barely drifted out of the way of that weapon throw. Somehow Vipr went down first, and that will do it. D-Light side air. Great adaptation from QS and Neeze. Even though Neeze switched over to the Mordex and was doing a ton of damage, it was actually Neeze that, QS that was the star of the show going into game 3, and now it is 1-2 in the set. Still match point in favor of Vipr and Swata, but maybe they want to avoid being on Apocalypse going into the next game, because without it being a super big map, it wasn't looking so great for Swata.
Jeez, but yeah, for whatever reason, the Mordex pick, just because of I guess the pace of the attacks and the way that you get to choose which way you send your opponent on the neutral air or the down air, it lets you kind of split the opponent's team more reliably.
3, 2, 1, brawl!
Game 4, Mammoth Fortress sticking with the Mordax. Neeze finally found the pick that got them the win. Okay, opening up the first hits of the game, being in the reticule at the very top of the screen, getting that recovery nair. So far, red team nearly untouched. Finally, Swata gets in with the ground pound downer, but Neeze just returns fire with the gauntlets. Downlight, sidelight recovery. Swata almost already gone.
My gosh. Yeah, Swata and Vipr, they need to do something to stop this momentum because Neeze and QS, they finished on a 3-stock victory last game, and here they've got a sizable damage lead.
Yeah, and they're not taking any risks going off stage either. They're realizing that the second they get back onto the stage, they're winning the neutral game. Oh, no. You hate to see it. Vipr makes sure that he takes down his teammate before losing his own stock. We can see the kill credit going up at the top of the screen in favor of Ragnar. It's now 6 stocks to 4, and the red team is just barely being put into a place where they might start losing their stocks to signatures. And enemies, they still have to get hit. Oh, no. Oh, perfect. Oh, I cannot believe the bravery that Swata had there to go for the gravity cancel down, like avoiding.
I mean, hey, you've...
Oh, go ahead.
He's got to stop this momentum some way. So going for those crazy plays, hopefully to demoralize the mentality from Neeze and QS, you've got to try anything.
I mean, he had to spot dodge the scythe ground pound perfectly, then cancel it into a downlight to get the down air afterwards. Really smart play and smart thinking from Swata. And now the blue team's starting to crawl back into this game as Swata's getting a lot of nice stop, side air, stop, nairs, just any kind of hits. Look at this. Swata's just actually boxing QS and Neeze at the same time, left and right. And Vipr has been able to stabilize as a result. Really great play from Swata. I feel like that edge guard was everything. Oh!
Yeah, he's definitely just got his legs back underneath him, giving a little bit of recovery to Vipr. You know, some of that. Into the bear! Beautiful alley-oop, and now they've stopped the momentum. They have the slight lead.
Ever so slightly.
Given that... I mean, hey, given that they only need to win one more game to win the set, slight lead is all you need.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see that Neeze and QS are starting to realize the position that they are in. Recovery still is not enough to take down Swata. Vipr just trying to get a little bit of extra credit in before he loses this stock inevitably. Maybe he can hit Neeze a little bit more. It's such a tough call when it comes to what they're going to be able to do with these stocks. I feel like if one goes down, the other should go down with them just so that they could get back to the stage safely and pick up weapons and not get denied. There goes Vipr. Honestly, Swata, I feel like you should just try. We'll see how he goes. He's decided to hold on to the stock. Vipr getting a lot of damage now as he's trying to get that weapon, but he does pick up the guitar. Swata finally goes down, and Vipr just has to do what he's doing right now. Hold on to that platform. Avoid taking too much damage, and there goes QS to the right side. Can Swata and Vipr get a team combo on the Neeze?
Ooh, there's the knockout, so now they've got the chance. Little bit of extra damage, but you know they were hoping for so much more. Not yet enough. Swata going to secure the knockout, but QS with a beautiful save.
Ooh, Neeze. He's trying to fish for these downlights, gets one recovery. He needs to get something so that the active input can get started and he can toss somebody towards his teammate. QS fighting Vipr off the side of the stage. He gets it. Vipr spiked by the gravity cancel neutral signature, and now Swata in a 1v2 against QS and Neeze. He goes for the ground pound and hits. Does he go for another one? He gets the recovery on the Neeze. Swata fighting 1v2 and winning. He takes down Neeze, and now it's a 1v1, and if QS can't win this, they're out of the tournament for good. Nair hits. Swata now fighting back with that hammer. Stop. Recovery. Does he get it? He goes for it. He connects all 3 hits. The downer hits, but he doesn't get it on the top. And now he's going to need a stomp sider if he wants to get the stock, but it's totally in Swata's favor.
Yeah, look at that. Just covering this corner, the hammer toss. And now that the platform's moving out of the way, QS has fewer options here.
Weapon. Swata throws away his weapon. Avoids the downlight. Weapon spawn comes up. He picks it up. It's the sword. QS just dodging back and forth. Oh, the neutralated weapon throw. QS playing so nimbly. Downlight recovery. That's it. Swata wins the 1v2 and wins the entire set for his team. Vipr and Swata win 3-1 over Neeze and QS and move on in the bracket to fight against Blue and Hermison in the lower quarterfinals. Oh my goodness.
So we mentioned this before, but like Swata just has some crazy games where he just absolutely pops off. This was one of them. He got all 6 knockouts, did over 800 damage, I mean, he was just finding every single correct decision.
Yeah, it was really impressive, actually, from how inconsistent is the word I want to use, but there are moments where I was like, uh-oh, Swata, you're the weak link here. Wait a second, Swata, you're carrying your team here. What's going on? But in that moment, something just clicked, and he went like, okay, we can't go to a Game 5. I've got to win this right now. And he was able to make that work out beautifully, taking down Neeze with the hammer recovery on the left side of the stage, and then never losing, I think there's only like 1 or 2 neutral interactions that he lost against QS.